Hello, lords and ladies. My name is Brian. This is Football Manager 22, and we're back in Salisbury on our favorite club vision screen. I just got finished a little while ago recording a video for the previous game that I don't think will end up airing, as basically the results just pushed here to the final game of the season. As you can see from the screen, things have gotten maybe a little better than they were before when we last checked in. We still haven't really signed any players, so those achievements still good. We have improved our play attacking soccer. They are now satisfied with what we're doing. We've scored some goals. We're still within payroll. We spent the original transfer budget. We've sold some players from profit. We failed the cups. We are not getting relegated. Over here, we are improving our training facilities. This will bring them up to the second highest level. We're increasing our youth level, which will put us youth level 4. We may or may not get youth teams. I will continue to fight to try and get some, but who knows? The club does want us to expand the stadium. If they want to do that, I will pretty much have to. I'm not going to request that. I'm going to leave them to do that of their own volition. I certainly won't complain if they do, assuming we keep selling it out. But I only get so many requests, and I'd rather focus on stuff that improves us on the pitch rather than improving around the pitch. As for a quick check-in on transfers, I don't think anything's happened at that time. Ayep Ozan was signed just before our last game. Since then, we've had an international window, and he picked up his first 2 caps for Turkey. So that's a positive. Under our rules, that would basically qualify him for a work permit. Under real-life rules, it's not enough appearances to do so, but it would go a long way. So I don't, continue to feel terrible about that signing. If he had stayed at Salzburg not playing, he probably wouldn't have been capped by Turkey. But because he got to come to us and play, 5-7 games, however many it was before the international break, and put on a good performance, suddenly that gets him called up to the Turkish national team. So good for him. And over here we can see the last transaction was that big sale of Andrija Gasic at right back. So this is how the standings look right now. The top 4 is locked in. It's pretty well stratified. Man United, clear number 1. City, Chelsea, West Ham, clearly all going to the Champions League. And then things get spicy. Tottenham and Southampton are tied on 61 points. Arsenal right behind them with 60. Us right behind them on 59. Liverpool right behind us on 58. Then there's the clean break down 48th through 41 of 10th to 17th, and 3 clearly relegated teams in Newcastle, Barnsley, and Brentford. Barnsley is the only one who just came up. Brentford is historically in this say of a yo-yo team, and this is kind of sad for Newcastle and their big cash infusion. It looks like they actually went down in the first league year of the save, came back up and have been up since then, but things have fallen off this last year. I will have to take a look at all of those teams to see if they have players worth saving and keeping up in the Premier League, and if I can find the funds to do so. As for us, we have one last game this year, and it's an important one, and it's a direct one for a spot in the Europa League. I believe there's a possibility an 8th spot might open up. The FA Cup is being contested between Southampton and I believe Man City later in the month. So they're already guaranteed spots. That spot may trickle down. So also, if there's a Champions League winner, I'm not sure if that'll trickle or not, or Europa League winner. I don't even know who's in those, how the UK teams, the EPL teams, are doing in those competitions. So, I may have to add an addendum, potentially, I suppose, depending how long I delay putting this out after this game. But we have a direct game ourselves against Southampton, and it becomes pretty clear: win and we're in, draw, and we'll need to see some results go our way. We don't have good tie breaks. We have the worst goal differential of everyone, which is, odd to say. Usually we have a great goal differential. Obviously, with this jump in level, just getting up into approximately 8th or 9th at worst has been big. And a loss basically means we don't get it unless there's an expansion and Liverpool also loses. How did we get here? I believe our last game together was this win over Aston Villa, about our seventh game in a row there where we hadn't lost, and we continued that streak for a bit. We beat Brentford, we beat Sheffield United, two not great teams, and we beat Arsenal at home. That's a good win. And then we actually drew West Ham on the road, and I will take that result all the time. West Ham's in second right now, and they were aided by a penalty in the 34th minute. So we were honestly maybe the better team on the road against West Ham. We finished up that streak 12 in a row by beating Leicester at home. And then we lost finally to Man City on the road. And again, we gave up a penalty in the 70th that Holland took and converted, obviously, which broke our streak. From there, things have been a little less good. We drew Celtic in a friendly. That doesn't really matter, but, just kind of in terms of not getting the momentum back the way we'd like. We drew against Everton in a scoreless performance, and then we got kind of slaughtered here by Tottenham. Furtado got sent off after their first goal, and we bunkered down and tried to hold them off. But probably about when they started scoring, we opened things up to try and grab a goal to tie it back up, and they took that opportunity to just slam in our face and put in 3 between the 74th and 81st. We did respond by beating a bad Barnsley team 5-2. I don't like giving up 2 goals to a bad Barnsley team, but, Jackie Garcia got a hat-trick. Ozan and Uda also scored goals. Good stuff. We proceeded to lose to a mid-table Norwich team on the road. Not great. It's fine. That's kind of the game. Might be ruining the result. Same with this draw with Liverpool. Not bad. We scored 3, but we let up 3. Really, the Messon had an uncharacteristic bad game. One went right through his hands. Hurleman and Zabibi have had a little bit of problem on the left side of the defense. Hurleman is our wonder kid. The 50 best wonder kids list got published between these 2 saves. Hurleman was on it along with Petkov, our right back. But Hurleman's performance has been mediocre at best, 6.78. It's not bad, but it's not good. He should be the backup. Unfortunately for us, Alexandrescu is injured, so he might play. I'm not sure. Might start. He is likely to play. And then because of that, we started Capoon over Hurleman, and we started Brewman over Zabibi in the last game. A 3-1 win against Burnley on the road. Burnley was right behind us in the standings, basically, but they also have a terrible goal differential, like -24, so it's a bit of disconnect between how good the team really is and how good they were performing. And that brings us to this last game against Southampton. They are in 6th. It is a home game for us, so that's a positive. Let's take a look real quick here at these other games to see what's going on in their world. Tottenham has a trip to Newcastle. Newcastle's on 18th and has nothing to play for us. They've already been relegated. So we expect Tottenham to pick up some points, but maybe a Newcastle team will show some pride there at the end, especially at home. Now Arsenal has a home game against Burnley. That's likely to get them some points. And Liverpool will finish up with, the Europa League final. But here, road game at West Ham. They're going to struggle to put up points there, I believe. Like I said, West Ham is a very solid team in that top tier. I guess 4th right now. So yeah, let's take it over to the match. They want McAvoy and Green. Yes, Ozan is injured. Tackle harder. We'll see. So I actually am going to bring in the lineup we used last week. Capoon and Brewman on the left as opposed to Hurleman and Zabibi. Don't mess with what I said there. Zabibi's had a 6.4 over the last 5 games. Just not good. Unfortunately, Green doesn't pair very well with Furtado or McAvoy. Doyle just doesn't have experience with either of them. Green's the better player. I'll say Green. Doyle's been better recently. Do I put a stock in that? Let's put stock in that. That's where we're going everywhere else. Garcia Noose up top, Messon in the goal. Petkov, who's been great, and Torres at the back. And let's get that team out there. players pretty well motivated. Southampton in the yellow and blue, and us in the white and black. They will get the kick here at our stadium in Salisbury. Livramento brings it down the side. Garcia dispossesses, and they'll have the throw in to start. I wish I'd been paying enough attention to tell you what formation Southampton was going with. I'm inclined to think it was a 4-2-3-1. I think we'll perhaps see it here shortly. Yes, a 4-2-3-1. Livramento was their right back. We will take the throw in here. No clips anytime soon. I guess we will restart with a kick there from Messon up to Torres, who has space to dribble, and so he does. Nusa, McAvoy, back to Torres. Finds interesting. Nusa goes outside. I would have gone in to Furtado. Furtado, Doyle, Garcia. Garcia looking for Garcia, but unfortunately intercepted by the defense. Kapun with a header out to Petkov, and we will reset with possession. Looking forward, we will need to find a replacement for Furtado. He is a loanee in from, I believe, Serie A, one of the Italian teams. So we will need to find a more permanent solution for the future for that spot. I have two players in mind. One of them is coming from Brentford. The other is a young Brazilian wonder kid. They both technically have wonder kid status, for whatever that means. Just Wunderkid, Wunderkind, whatever. I'm Nate Sally, you know. Torres header, goal! 7th of the year for Fabio Torres. Most of those coming from from penalties, but a few headers like that one. Nusa will take the assist off of the corner. Nope, sorry. No, Nusa will. I thought it might have gotten pinged around. Number 6, Furtado did a good job screening the keeper to create the opportunity for Furtado. Made him react late. Greaves lumps it forward, and Furtado Torres combined to get the header and give us possession again. Furtado plays up to McAvoy. McAvoy looking, and unfortunately just gives the ball away, but Furtado dispossesses, finds Garcia. Garcia plays up to Garcia. Garcia unfortunately doesn't have the step, tries to play it to McAvoy. His passing is a weak point, and we've known that, but you know, he scored 24 goals for us this year, so yeah, entirely worth it. Those few errant passes. Bit of a pass about from the center backs and center midfielders and the defensive midfielder. Eventually ball ends up with Petkov, who comes up and plays it in, and eventually into Garcia, back to Furtado, out to Doyle, McAvoy. Garcia finds Petkov, outside, back into Garcia. Edgar Garcia this time gets the finish. Is this it? Is this the time that Salisbury gets their first taste of European play? Does the Europa League beckon? Perhaps. I don't know how many, if all of the Europa League spots are group stage spots, or if some of them are potentially qualifier spots, and as well as, you know, the whatever it is, the European Conference Committee, the third tournament. It does exist, though I don't know if / how many spots are reserved to that. But let's just focus on winning this game, and we'll take whatever we can get. Ball's played in. Torres misses the header. Luckily, they missed their heading shot attempt. We're up to 7th in the standings right now. .84 XG. Opponents have .16 XG. All right, we're picking up. We have the ball. Garcia tries to play a long ball for Garcia. It could have been Bruman, I suppose, and not Garcia. But either way, this is a dangerous attack from Buchanak, and unfortunately he converts. I don't really want to see what the defense is doing there, because up to Smith. Looks like Furtado had crashed on him, and Kapun made a run at the guy playing the ball, and missed Buchanak making a run behind, was not able to cut the play at all. 2 minutes of extra time on the clock. Bit of a dangerous attempt there. Messon knocks it over the bar, though. All right. Harrison initiates, gets headed out, and Noose is the one who comes away with it. Fortunately, his dribbling is poor and gets dispossessed by Smith. Ball ends up back with Smith. Noose getting back on defense. And that'll take us into the half. Certainly not going to complain about having a lead at the half in a big game like this, but would feel a lot more comfortable it was 2 rather than 1. I think we're doing well, but could definitely find another year to take charge of the match is a fine response. Let's tell the midfielders, keep going. We believe in them. Because everyone else seemed pretty motivated. That was the spot there. The players were just like, yeah, whatever. And we got most of them. Bit of a kickabout. They try and play to Garcia on the outside. Doesn't quite happen. Gets played back to Bruman, who loses it trying to play it back to Garcia. Might be forcing the issue to Edgar Garcia here, guys. Livramento with a throw-in. Plays it to Mara. Gets back to Livramento. Then he just plays it across the middle, trying to find someone, and no one home. We limit forward to Edgar Garcia. He gets it easily. He lays it forward for Jackie Garcia. Unfortunately, he does not have the step, and the center back had the pace to run with him and grab the ball. Luckily, they just lump it forward themselves, and we are the ones who come away with it. Bit of a pass about in the, not defensive backfield, but amongst our defensive players, but near the midline. Unfortunately, eventually we lump it forward, and, what happens when you do that? The other team gets possession. Unfortunately, good save by Messon. Torres had a poor job handling the ball. Not handling, but footing the ball and got dispossessed. Harrison here with another corner, which is headed out, and looks like Jackie Garcia was going to be the first one to really corral it. We'll reset here with a Bruman throwing up to Furtado. Back to Bruman. Back to Garcia, who gets possessed by Livramento. His cross is handled by Torres, and we come away with the ball. Jackie Garcia up top. Pass about in the midfield. Everyone looks pretty well covered, and so Jackie Garcia plays it all the way back to Messon, who is significantly out of goal. This strikes me as dangerous. Luckily, we find one of the fullback wingbacks who is not being adequately covered, so we were able to actually initiate some attack. Some pressure on the goalie makes an errant clearance, and we get possession in their half. Furtado plays across to Doyle to attacking Garcia. Jackie Garcia with his 25th goal of the year off of a good pass from Kamari Doyle. Just leading him into open space and placing it right past Drakowski. Great ball movement. Exactly what I want to see from the team. Doyle forward to Garcia, and yes. Again, 2-goal lead feels much safer. I know I don't have to tell that to you guys, but I do. I got to fill the time. Even, ridiculous things. Furtado is on a yellow card and is tiring out a bit. Sure, this is a good chance to get Zabibi back in the game, get him some more rep time, despite the fact that he's not starting today. We are here in the 69th minute. Bruman's having a bad day. Unfortunately, Zabibi would be his replacement. We could move Zabibi back in. Then who are we putting at defensive midfield? McLean, who hasn't played in months. Put in Hurleman at center back and move Torres up to defensive midfield. Done worse things. Nusa here is also on a yellow card and not having the best of days. Is amongst the more tired players. So let's pull Nusa here on the right wing. We'll put in Juan. And we'll go ahead and save our last sub like a quote-unquote proper manager would, to both prepare for just in case an injury happens, and also frickin' Buchanak. Just way too many players followed Mera aggressively, and no one's paying attention to the back door, by which I mean Buchanak just finding open space. 3 guys running there. Not all of you need to follow him. I think we should place Torres with Hurleman. Not yet. Bruman, Zabibi, Garcia, Doyle. Back to Bruman. Up to Garcia. Garcia starts to bring it in with a cutting run. Good job. Gets past 2. Lays it up to McAvoy. Plays it forward to Garcia. Garcia surges forward. Unfortunately, off Dragowski's hands. Oh, so close to reopening the lead. Dragowski playing it forward here. Just one time. Okay, we gotta... Is no one... Mark this guy. He is the danger. The 24-year-old Serbian. Yeah, looks all right. He's definitely a quality player. Yeah, let's go ahead and use our last sub here. Torres is a fine choice to take out. He's gassing out a bit. He's done played well for us, but let's get some fresh legs in there. And I want to change our mentality a little bit. And bring our wingbacks and fullbacks back a little bit. Don't want them racing down the pitch and leaving ourselves exposed on the back end. Good passes, though it looks like one was offsides, as one often is when he decides to attack on his own. So we will go ahead and move this fullback roll back to support, this wingback roll back to defend, and our overall mentality to balanced. We will also institute time wasting. Looked like we had an attacking free kick there that didn't go anywhere, and then Livramento has a throw in. They get a cross off, but Messin wrangles it. Looks like he's just going to kick away instead of... Nope, does just play it to Hurleman. Hurleman makes the right decision, plays it out to Petkoff, who then plays it into McAvoy. McAvoy up to Juan, looks for a surge, and Garcia unfortunately plays it too long, and it goes back to Dragowski here in the 89th minute. Dragowski kicks it forward. Luckily, Zabibi's the one who comes away with it. Plays it out to Juan, to McAvoy, out to Juan, back up to Garcia. Yep, just dribble it to the corner, buddy. Just dribble to the corner. There we go. Play it back to Petkoff. Nice. Make him come attack to you. Get everyone down the pitch. Zabibi, Petkoff having a passing competition. Zabibi going... Oh, Arab Zabibi! Left-footed into the top left corner. There was no saving that from Dragowski. He was having a bad day, but that one can't be held against him. Is Arif Zabibi showing why the Syrian national team loves this kid. Ah, so sexy. 5 minutes of extra time placed on the clock. We have a 2-goal lead. Juan's breaking forward with the ball. Love to see it. Plays it in, wrong-footed. Doyle, Garcia, McAvoy, hard shot. Saved by Dragowski. But we'll take the corner and we'll take some time. Buchanak on a run. Doyle trips the guy. Looking like it's just a yellow card, though. So that's quote-unquote fine, especially with the 2-goal lead. Just anything that slows up the game is fine by me. Ball's played out to Harrison. We have a man scrambling to get back out there. Played back into the middle. Deep. He's uncovered, but obviously that shot was blocked and was because there was a sea of individuals in the box. Things kind of scrambled all over the place, and then they chipped in a pretty mediocre cross that Messin came up to handle. With the defensive mentality on, he just kicks it away. They play a bad ball there to Bruman, and we intercept. Liking it. Good passing there. Bruman, Garcia, Doyle. Ball ends up in McAvoy's foot. Dispossessed going the other way. We have hit the 5th minute of extra time. Yeah, sure, whatever. They play it long for Mara. Slide tackle from Hurleman. Mara protests for a foul, but it doesn't matter. Let's just end the game, especially with that 2-goal lead we had. Lots on the score sheet between yellow cards and goals, but in the end, it is Salisbury 4, Southampton 2. Let's await some media reactions. Yes, that ZBB goal was very nice. And so, with everyone on 38 games played, we find ourselves in 7th place, which is a clinched European spot. Now, whether it is a Europa League spot or a European Conference spot, not quite sure. We did get just received $37 million for placing 7th in the EPL, and we're going to pay out $2 million of that. It's good to be the club. I'm not quite sure why we aren't filled in here. Let's see if we can take a look at the competition rules real quick. Rules to see Europa Conference League playoff, but potentially that could fall. Yes, it apparently depends on the FA Cup. Oh, right, because Southampton is in the FA Cup. So if Southampton wins, they get a Europa League spot. I'm not quite sure how exactly it'll play out, but we are playing European soccer. The Conference League is more likely, I think, but its potential will end up in the Europa League. We'll see how far I go if I decide to add a sidebar. Just looking at the screen, wasn't preparing this, but Jackie Garcia is 3rd in the league in goals. I love this kid. You might notice, if you were particularly sharp-eyed, the pictures have changed. Unfortunately, when I was updating, because we signed 2 of our youth players, and also because David O'Reilly, who's a youth player from the previous year, they didn't have pictures. They had the terrible generic avatars. And I wanted to have pictures, and the system that keeps their pictures wasn't working. That keeps everyone else's pictures wasn't working when you replace them. The team's had enough turnover recently that I went, okay, I just get everyone pictures. I can't stand seeing these awful avatars, even of players that aren't necessarily going to ever really play for us. So, yeah, some faces have changed. Luckily, the team is mostly new enough that it doesn't bother me. There's no long-standing players like Richard Cumming, who I really had a kind of mental image of him from his picture. Unfortunately, Jackie Garcia, in my opinion, got a fair bit less attractive. Sorry, Jackie. But he scored the 3rd most goals in the EPL, got several bonuses to play, and I'm going to need to give him a new contract to up his minimum fee release clause if I can, because I don't want someone to come in and steal him away. Anyways, Brentford has one of the 2 players I want to take a quick look at. It is Tayfun Duran. He is a 20-year-old Dutchman. His physicals are great. His mentals are great. His technicals are pretty good. Seems like a solid player. He also has a relegation release clause in his contract. It is $39 million. Unfortunately, he is making something like $4.66 million a year. That would kind of bust our budget. Or not our budget. We have the money. It's I don't think anyone is making anything remotely close to that right now. Our highest paid salary is Juan at 3.48 and Jackie Garcia at 3.411. So if we paid him exactly what he's making now, if he accepts that, he'd make a full $1,200,000 more than our current highest paid players. Yeah, he's good. Is he that good? I don't know. But, we might just have to break our wage budget. And the other player that we were looking at is a 17-year-old out of the Brazilian leagues, Geraldo Mendes Vieira, just 17. He can play right back, he can play center back, he can play defensive midfield. 6'5", phenomenal physicals, some very good mentals, though a few weak spots, but mostly they're the attacking weak spots like vision and off the ball, so I don't mind. 17 tackling and some very good technicals otherwise. With no really bad technicals, even 9 crossing and 10 dribbling. That's why he can play right back competently. So he's demonstrated no interest in us. he's making 414K. I'd gladly pay him $2 million. So we'll see if we can get interest out of him. It might just be that he can't actually go anywhere until he's 18, so he's not really thinking about signing anywhere. But he's a high priority player in my book. So I'm looking for both of those players to replace Furtado and just generally upgrade the team, as well as some other options. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see about... I'm not going to post this today on Saturday, 3/26. So it'll be going on 3/27. We'll see how far I go to whether... to when the Southampton game is. It's on the 19th? Wow, quick game. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely go and run through that to see what it tells me where I'm going to play next year, and let you guys know in a addition at the end here what our situation is. So thank you so much for joining me for another year. A very successful year here for Salisbury football as we made the leap from relegation fodder up to European football of some quality next year. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe, offer your thoughts on anything you might have come to mind. And I will be back with you shortly with after another off season, and we will take a look at another year in the EPL and our first year of European football. Thank you. Have a lovely day. See you soon.